Hello again. This is Lisa Woods, Managing Partner with Realcomm, back at the 2025 Realcomm IBCon Conference in Savannah. With me is Carla Hinson. You are the Vice President of Solutions and Innovation for MRI Software. How you doing, Carla?
I'm doing well. It's been a great conference so far.
Good. Oh, good, good. Have you been to Savannah before?
Actually, I haven't. This is my first time, so really enjoying it.
Great. Well, you and I just met backstage, had a nice little chat, got to know one another. Give everyone a little bit of background. How long have you been with MRI? What's your role there, and a little bit of your history?
Sure, absolutely. So, as Vice President of Solutions and Innovation, I have responsibility for our go-to-market and also our product management and also our product development. So, heavily involved on the product side, but also on the client engagement side as well, which is a particular favorite area of mine. So I've been at MRI for coming up on 4 years, I've been in the industry for over 26 years.
Okay.
So across different facets of the commercial and also the occupier side.
Okay, all right. And I know that not just with MRI, but across the board, data is the big topic of conversation. So everything is around data, and I know you are very heavily involved in data. So tell us a little bit about that.
Well, I am. I think it helps that I'm just a big nerd at heart anyway. But I do. Early in my career, I really started to understand the importance of data and not having the right data and not being able to make decisions based on that data. And that's really stuck with me. And so we come to today, we're in 2025, and we actually have conversations now about siloed data and about not being able to get to the right data. So it's something I feel very passionate about. In fact, we at MRI feel very passionate about making sure that our clients can get to the data they need.
Have you noticed that the conversation has changed from a client perspective around data? Are they asking different questions, maybe asking questions in a different way? Are they kind of understanding a little bit more about what the data means and the manipulation and the collection and the meaning of the data? How has that changed from your perspective?
Well, it's definitely changed. So I think the conversation that's come forward, and really, you can't talk about data without talking about AI.
Right.
But all of the discussions around AI, it's really brought to the forefront how much time people are spending collecting data, right? Just collecting it and combining it, and that's still happening today. And so the discussions now are around how do we, rather than how do we keep doing that, how do we stop doing that? How do we stop spending so much time collecting data? What's our data quality? Like, is our data complete? So we're getting a lot more questions around how the data actually looks, and then also how can I get access to it more? And previously it was just accepted that there were certain pieces of data that were on someone's hard drive on a spreadsheet, and that's just not accepted anymore. So a lot of change in the conversation in the last few years.
Right. And I think too, not just the approach to data, but what can you do with it? Are you just collecting data for, because everybody's doing it, but what are you actually getting out of it? What is the value coming out of the data? So how have the clients, what has changed about your approach, or maybe your conversations with clients about what are the actionable items coming out of all of that collection and management?
Well, the key word you said there is action, right? So we've seen this shift in language where I need actionable insights. It was, we need insights. We need to know what data we have. We need insights. Well, now we need actionable insights. So they're looking for data that they can use to actually make decisions or drive an action. And that's not really where time has been spent previously in focus. Again, focus previously, you would have an analyst, and an analyst would do a lot of work on different data, pull it together. It would take quite a long amount of time, and then you would see the graphs, right, and a bit of the trending. This is now kind of on-demand data. We really want to see it immediately. We want to see where there's things we should be focused on, we should care about. That's what I mean by driving action. So instead of having to take the time to analyze it and then figure out what action, which by the time you do that, it's time to analyze again. It's more of that immediate, we know we've got data, but we want to use it. We want it to tell us something now. One of the things that's been very interesting, especially with AI, is around the conversations about the scenarios for AI. So really trying to understand what kinds of actions are you looking for it? What kind of recommendations are you looking for from the data?
Right.
Has been incredibly interesting because those are actually different for different parts of the business.
Right.
And so that conversation around data, I believe it's changed so much just in the last year as people are becoming more educated about what AI can do, and then it comes over to what kind of data do I actually have to start with.
Right.
It's been very interesting.
Well, how are your conversations with the clients changing around AI? AI is moving so fast; it can be so overwhelming. And when you're looking at AI as an enhancement tool, it becomes just that much more high performing. And so, and I know with some clients, they've got to be feeling like they're a little underwater. How are you handling that?
You know, there's so much great information on AI that's out there, but then again, there's so much information on AI that's out there, right? It's coming fast and furious, and it's moving very quickly. So whenever we talk to clients about AI, we just start with, okay, let's take a step back and a deep breath, and let's talk about, do you know what data that you have? Right. Do you have that documented? Do you know who owns the data? What kind of scenarios are you trying to accomplish? Because from there, you can start to understand, do you actually have enough data? Do you need to supplement your data? Do you have the data quality that you need? What kind of AI tools do you need? Because that's different if you're trying to do calculations versus you're looking for some recommendations based on a data set and some insights. Two different things, two different tools.
Right.
And so what we're finding is our clients are a bit overwhelmed. And so we just kind of say, all right, let's stop, let's take a step back, let's break it down and keep it simple. And then we start to get some real scenarios, and that's really what I'm excited about, is the real life scenarios of how it can really help. I mean, AI is cool and fun, but I'd really like for it to help as well.
Very cool, very fun, yes. Very scary in some respects.
For some.
What would you like the audience to take away from this discussion in terms of, big bucket points about what MRI is doing and maybe what they can expect to see coming down the pike in the next, 6, 9, 12 months?
Sure. So MRI is very focused on the changing technology, so you don't have to figure it out. We'll figure it out for you. We'll help you through that. I think just kind of as a future statement, we're really going to come to the point where success is dependent on the partnership between humans and AI. Right. And you just need to start that partnership now. Right. Start to understand it, get a good partner with you through it, and we'll work through that together.
Yeah, that's a really good point. The partnership is maybe the piece that in some cases tends to become hidden or drop through the cracks. Yeah.
Almost a little adversarial, right?
Right.
And I think it's because there's a concern about how much AI will do in place of a human. There's a lot of times we hear that brought up, and when people ask me what I hope for out of AI, my biggest hope is that AI makes it so that no one has to miss a soccer game or a family dinner. I mean, unless they want to, that's up to them. Right. But it makes it so that you can actually focus on the job that you have, and being the best at it without having to worry about where the data is coming from and how to combine it, right? All the extra work.
Right. Well, I think AI is all about the enhancement of the tools that you already have.
Yes.
It's about making the job easier. It's about more high performance. It's about higher proficiency. But it's really AI not for the sake of AI, but AI as an enhancement.
Exactly.
And added to that technology layer, and just makes it that much more cool.
Yeah, I agree with you completely.
Well, I think we're almost out of time. It was great talking to you. I'm glad that you came by and had a quick chat with us, and I'd love to see you back and see what MRI is up to.
Absolutely. Thanks so much for having me. Really enjoyed it.
Yeah, enjoy the conference.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Carla.